All right, let's dive into one of the most audacious, complex, and flat-out brilliant love poems ever written. John Donne's The Canonization. This thing is a fiery, passionate defense of love, one that actually dares to argue that a romantic, even physical connection can be just as holy as any religion. So yeah, let's get into it and unpack this magnificent argument.
I mean, talk about an opening line. The poem doesn't start with a whisper, it starts with a shout. This is easily one of the most famous first lines in all of English poetry. It's so abrupt, so dramatic, and totally confrontational. We're immediately dropped right into the middle of an argument. Clearly, someone is criticizing the speaker's love life, and he has absolutely had enough.
That explosive first line really forces us to ask, right? Who is this person? And what's at stake here that's got him so worked up? Well, to answer that, we've got to peel back the layers of a 400-year-old masterpiece that mashes up passion, intellect, and spiritual rebellion into one incredible argument.
Okay, so let's start with that outburst. The first part of the poem, the first stanza, really isn't about romance at all. It's more like a legalistic, kind of irritable counterattack against a world that just won't mind its own business.
Now, this is crucial to understanding where he's coming from. Our speaker isn't some starry-eyed kid. No, he's an older, world-wise guy, probably a courtier. He points to his physical problems, his shaking hands, his painful joints, his graying hair, and basically says, look, mock me for these things. Go ahead, make fun of my ruined fortune. But my love, that is completely off-limits.
What's so great about this is how it just lays out the central conflict. The speaker is telling his critic to go chase all the stuff the public world values. You know, wealth, social climbing, sucking up to nobles and the king. But for the lovers, their entire world has shrunk down to the reflection in each other's eyes. They've created this private universe that makes the whole public rat race seem completely meaningless.
So after telling the world to basically get lost, the speaker pivots. This is where it gets really interesting. He's not just defending his love anymore. He's actually building a formal, logical case for why it deserves to be canonized, to be made sacred. Let's see how he pulls off this incredible argument.
So the title of the poem? It's not random at all. It's the entire argument in a single word. Donne, who was actually raised Catholic, knew this process inside and out. He's taking one of the most sacred procedures of the church and so cheekily applying it to his own love affair. Honestly, it's a radical, almost blasphemous move for the time.
And this, right here, is the poem's hidden genius. The 5 stanzas of the poem, they map directly onto the 5 official stages of the canonization process. The whole poem is structured like a formal hearing to make the lovers saints. It's like Donne is using the church's own rulebook to create a brand new religion of love. Now, the make or break stage for any potential saint is, of course, the proof of miracles. And in the 3rd stanza, Donne unleashes some of the most dazzling and complex imagery in all of literature to make his case. You got to see this.
To really get this stanza, you need to understand Donne's secret weapon, something called the metaphysical conceit. It's not just a simple comparison. It's this wild, intellectually demanding metaphor that forces you to see the world in a completely new way, fusing intense feeling with some seriously rigorous thought. So the speaker presents 3 of these miraculous conceits. First, the lovers are like moths drawn to a candle flame, totally consumed by their own passion. Then they become both the masculine powerful eagle and the feminine peaceful dove, a perfect union of opposites. And finally, they become the ultimate miracle, the phoenix. And this brings us to the absolute core of the argument, the phoenix. This mythical bird, as you know, burns to death and is then reborn from its own ashes. The lovers, he argues, do the exact same thing. And here, Donne uses a famous Renaissance pun where the word die meant both to expire and to reach sexual climax. So through their passion, they are consumed and then reborn in this constant cycle of resurrection that proves their love is a divine mystery.
So, with the miracles proven, the case is won. The lovers are now ready for the final stages of their canonization. They're about to become something totally new, saints for a new kind of faith.
This is just so clever. Donne creates a whole secular sainthood that perfectly mirrors the religious one. The lovers won't be remembered in big history books, but in love poems, in sonnets that will become their hymns. They won't need some massive tomb, just a well-wrought urn for their ashes. And the poem we're reading becomes that urn.
And just like religious saints, people will call upon them. Future lovers who are searching for a model for a truly transcendent connection will basically pray to them. They'll become the pattern of perfect love, the ones to ask for help for all who come after them.
So let's zoom out for a second. What does all of this really add up to? Why is this poem considered such a massive landmark in English literature?
Well, the Canonization is pretty much the quintessential metaphysical poem. This was a totally revolutionary style of poetry back in the 17th century, and John Donne was its undisputed master. It's brainy, it's passionate, and it's deliberately witty, all at the same time.
I mean, think about it. This poem checks every single box. A dramatic opening? For God's sake, hold your tongue. A complex argument? The whole 5-stage canonization process. Fusing passion and intellect? Hello, the Phoenix Riddle. And startling conceits that blend the sacred and the secular? That is the entire point of the poem. It's a perfect encapsulation of the style.
And that right there is the poem's radical, lasting achievement. Donne takes what the world sees as a private, maybe even trivial love affair and argues with this breathtaking intellectual force that it is a sacred path to transcendence, a universal and eternal experience that's actually worthy of worship. So, the poem leaves us with a really powerful question. 400 years ago, Donne made the case for love as the ultimate sacred value, something worth building a private faith around. It kind of makes you wonder, right? In a world that's full of things demanding our devotion, what do we choose to canonize?